Alright, y'all, so I had a notification pop up on my Google this morning, and it says DoorDash drivers frustrated with low-paying long-distance delivery offers. DoorDash drivers are frustrated with a contribution of a combination of low base pay, long distance, and the use of stacked orders that reduces their per delivery earnings. For drivers, the core issue is that their earnings do not adequately cover their time and vehicle expenses, especially for longer trips. That is facts. Facts, facts, facts. I see too many orders. You don't have to take those. Y'all use that decline button. Decline, decline, decline. Don't take that shit. All right, what else does it say? Inadequate base pay. Low minimums. Many drivers report receiving a base pay of just $2 to $4 per delivery. Facts. Regardless of the distance. Facts. And rely heavily on customer tips. Facts. To make the delivery worthwhile. Some drivers refuse to accept any order that doesn't meet their own minimum per pay standard. Yes, yes, yes. We don't take trash out. Chia. I mean, some people do. They're so worried about being platinum and whatever, but, I got standards. I got 7 gig apps. What makes you think I want to be out here taking your little $3 order 17 miles? No. Dash Mart. Okay, let's keep going. Customer tips subsidize base pay. In a previous pay model used from 2017 to 2019, DoorDash used customer tips to cover its guaranteed base pay. After a 2025 settlement and a 2019 lawsuit over the... All right, let's continue on. I had to drop off my child. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. After a 2025 settlement, the company changed its model to add tips on top of base pay. However, the low base pay still remains a major point of contention. Yes. I know. Low pay for long distances. All right, I'm going to pause right here and just mention the fact that I have seen some considerable base pays on distances here in my area. For instance, I had I know. I had like a $17 or $18 order. It was like somewhere between 10 or 15 miles. The customer only tipped $4, and the rest of that was base pay, like $12 is base pay. So it's not all of them. It depends on the restaurant. It depends strictly on the place that you're picking up the order from. Because a lot of these places have deals, which I don't work for them. I don't know how the deals work or anything. I just notice these things. Like Dashmart, for instance, it don't matter if that order is going 2 miles or it's going 10 miles. The highest base pay you're going to see is $3.75. Like, for real. The highest base pay you're going to see coming from Dashmart is $3.75. However, there are other places who charge a delivery fee through their own company upwards around $7, where DoorDash will add on to that. And so, therefore, the base pay is going to be a little bit higher. That's because the restaurant is contributing to the base pay as well. And then there are also a lot of places where you're going to get charged a long distance fee. I think it's $1.99 from what I've seen on my own experience using the DoorDash app to order food. But I'm not sure how that works in other areas where you might be ordering from 25 miles away, because I've never ordered anywhere further than like probably 6 miles. So anyway, let me continue on. Disproportionate pay. Drivers report that pay does not increase proportionally with distance. For example, a driver might get $4 for a 12-mile trip. I just touched on that. An amount considered insufficient to cover time, gas, and vehicle wear and tear. Y'all have to keep in mind we're using our own vehicles. We're independent contractors. We do not get an hourly pay. We get whatever the offer amount is for pay. Misleading information. Some drivers have discovered the customer's food was being picked up from a restaurant near the driver's starting point, but the delivery destination was very far away. Customers in these cases were also frustrated, mistakenly believing their food was coming from a closer, more convenient location. Yeah, when you order, it just sends your order out. Like, there might be, say you order something, a biggie bag from Wendy's, right? There might be a Wendy's 1.5 miles from your house, but for some reason they send your order to a Wendy's that's 4 miles away. So whenever you tipped based on the 1.5 miles instead of tipping based on the 4 miles, which is a good bit of distance. It's also a lot more time. Then, you're depending on how you tipped, if you tipped at all, you're less likely to get your order as quickly as you would have expected. So that is an issue. Now, I've never seen any misinformation as far as being a driver. It shows me exactly where my pickup and drop-off is, exactly how many miles the order is going to be before I accept it, so I don't know what it's talking about there. So I don't believe that part unless Doordash drivers are just out here lying like, I accepted an order and I didn't know where I was going. No, it shows you. It does. It's always showed you. I've been on Doordash for more than 3 years. So I've seen all kinds of app updates. It has always showed you your delivery location, the amount of miles, all of that. Like, you might not get the exact address until after you pick up the order, but you do get a ballpark where the F you're going. So, yeah. Top dasher pressure. Well, I don't have that no more. Drivers report that the desire to maintain a high acceptance rate to qualify for the Top Dasher program, which offers perks like being able to dash anytime, can pressure them into accepting these unprofitable long-distance offers. That is true. DoorDash does use these tier programs to try to pressure you to have a high acceptance rate, while all the while sending you a ton of offers that are not worth it. In a second, I'm going to show y'all my stats, because I don't maintain a high acceptance rate, but I have been switched to the point system, which I find better than Top Dasher. I don't have to spend a whole day taking trash orders just to make sure that I get my Top Dasher for the month. Instead, I could be silver and have a 0 acceptance rate. And as long as you're silver or gold, like, you can schedule a couple days in advance. Like, you still get pretty good offers. I find the offers are better when you're gold. I don't see any large quote-unquote catering orders, because DoorDash's idea of a catering order is different than other people's. I don't see those really unless I'm gold or I'm platinum, but I do see high-paying low-mile offers quite a bit. So, kind of glad we got the point system, even though the on-time rating thing is kind of still a little jacked up at the moment, but, let's keep going. Issues with stacked orders. Single base pay. DoorDash sometimes gives drivers 2 or more orders at once, a stacked order, but only provides 1 base pay for the combined delivery run. That is true, and it also works like that on peak pay. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I have noticed a split in peak pay. Even though I'm taking 2 deliveries, I might be picking up from 2 different places and dropping off to 2 different people. They still gonna split the peak pay and the base pay between those 2 orders. Not all the time, but I have noticed it. Like it's like they're trying to see if they could get away with it or something. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if y'all have noticed that in your zone. Because the app often does not show which order tipped what amount, drivers are unable to decline the profitable one without declining the whole stack. Facts. Now, sometimes you could kind of like guess which is which. Like if one's super close and one's going like 10 miles away, you could probably guess that the 10-mile order is not the person who tipped. Although I've been wrong before. Hidden low tip orders. No, I just read that. Okay. Impact on customers. The stacking practice also impacts customers who tipped well, as their food is sometimes delayed to accommodate the no tip order. Yes. Yes. I can't tell y'all how many times a customer has been so generous. But I have found out that Doordash wants me to go drop off Joe's order that's probably been sitting at the restaurant for 45 minutes first. Just because their order's been sitting in some heat at the restaurant. So, maybe it's not fresh, but maybe Joe should have tipped, Just my opinion. If you want a service done for you, you need to pay for that service. That, like, you paid DoorDash whenever you paid their service fee. But now you got to pay your driver for their service, which is the tip. DoorDash does not pay us to service you. They pay us to do the job. And they hardly pay us to do the job. I'm telling you, if I took every single order that came across my phone, there are days where I would not make but $6 an hour. Or I definitely wouldn't make no more than like 10, 15. And whenever you factor in gas, wear and tear, and all of that, you're barely making minimum wage. And so who wants to do all that? No. Then there's the degradation of value on your vehicle. Like, that's even worse. Like, we might actually be making like $4 an hour at the end of the day if we're taking every order out there. Y'all, be mindful of these things while you're taking these lowball orders. Anyway, driver action and platform effect. Declining low offers. Hit that decline button, y'all. It's there for a reason. You do not get penalized for declining orders. You will not get deactivated from declining orders. I actually do notice I get like less, I don't see orders as often unless it's just super busy whenever I'm not in a tier or when I'm just silver. But anyway, let's keep reading. Declining low offers. Many experienced drivers employ a strategy of cherry picking, yes sir, or declining low paying offers to make their work more profitable. Some follow rules like only accepting orders that pay at least $1 a mile. That is like the bare minimum of what I'm going to take. And that's only if all the other orders coming in are trash. If I've seen 3 upside down orders in a row and you hit me with $1 a mile, like I'm probably going to be inclined to take that. But if I've been seeing $1.25, $1.50, $3 a mile orders all day and you hit me with that $1 a mile, I'm going to decline it. It just depends. All right. Platform consequences. While DoorDash cannot legally fire independent contractors for a low acceptance rate, drivers say the algorithm punishes them by sending even worse offers or pausing their session. That is true. It doesn't pause your session for declining orders, but it does pause you if you let more than one time out. Sometimes if you just let one time out, it'll pause you. I don't care about a pause. I pause all day. That's why I got like 40 hours of online time to my 20 hours of dash time, Oh, but they do send worse offers the lower your acceptance rate is. They send better paying offers, but it also depends on how close you are to the restaurants. If me and another driver are both sitting like right next to each other, and there's an order that comes from say McAllister's, okay, and it's paying $3.25 for 5 miles. They're just going to send it to whichever driver has been sitting there or is closer, or whoever's been sitting there longer, something to that effect. But if it's an order that's paying $15 for 3 miles, they're going to send it to the driver with the better stats first. Like, unless one of you is closer, like by a mile or more, probably. But yeah, platform consequences are a real thing. Unclear expectations. This is the last point that it has for us. The constant stream of low-paying offers has led to online communities of drivers organizing to decline bad orders, hoping to force DoorDash to raise its base pay. Facts. Meanwhile, customers are often unaware that their low or non-existent tip is causing their order to be passed over by multiple drivers. I'm gonna go ahead and like that, because this is true. These are factual information. This is all factual information. AI, thank you for bringing this to my attention today. I don't know if us declining all the bad orders is going to force DoorDash to raise the base pay, but maybe we'll see. Y'all keep an eye out. I think this video is kind of long, but y'all let me know what you think about all this that we've read. I find most of this stuff to be very, very factual. I was going to show y'all my stats, but I got to go drop my baby off at the school. They got some other stuff right here, but let me know what you think. Hit that like button, subscribe if you like gig work content, and I will be back with another video, another short, another live stream. You never know. Keep an eye out. That's why you need to make sure you're subscribed to me, because you never know what I'm going to do. You never know. I might be gone for a week. I might be on live every day. I might drop 15 shorts tomorrow. You never know. No, I'm just playing with y'all. But have a great day, and I hope you found this information helpful, informative. If you're a customer, keep this stuff in mind, because we are here for you, but we're also here for the money. Peace.